Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and TV show I watched last week, and yeah, let's get right into it. Let's start it off with the one and only season of TV that I watched last week, which was Alien Earth, which just finished, and it was a pretty good show. I feel like this Alien franchise I typically enjoy more than I don't. But I feel like usually when I rank these Alien franchise or this Alien franchise, it's usually between that 3.5 and 4 star. There's a few outliers, but for the most part, that's kind of where it lands. And this is kind of the same thing. Overall, I think it's a good franchise. I've never really been like amazed by this franchise, and although I wouldn't say I've never hated it because I did have to watch the Aliens versus Predator and Alien 3 and Alien 4, which I didn't enjoy those either. So, anyways, Alien Earth is a pretty well-made show. Nice seeing different types of aliens. I enjoyed that. Overall, it's a good show. I'd recommend. And I ranked it a 76 out of 100. So let's move on to the movies of the week, starting it off with my least favorite, which was Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, which I ranked a 52 out of 100. I thought it was fine. Nothing too special. It's my least favorite of the trilogy, and yeah, it was fine. Let's move on to Quarantine, which I ranked a 54 out of 100. I seen it was on Netflix, and I always talk about how there's no movies that start with the letter Q. That's something I talk about to some friends and to Mel, and kind of wanted to watch this found footage horror film, which I like. And this was fine. It was okay. I was really enjoying the characters that we had in the fire station. Once we got out of that, didn't really care for it. And then a great ending to the movie as well. But overall, it was fine. Ranked it a 54 out of 100. And I learned after watching this that this is a remake to Wreck, which I did not watch last week for you guys, but it'll be in next week's video. I already watched it today on Monday, so September 29th. It'll be in next week's video. If you want to see my review, go check out my Letterboxd, link in the description, and yeah. Quarantine is fine. Let's move on to Poltergeist 3, which I ranked a 57 out of 100. Also fine. I definitely think this is a worse movie than the second one, but I really enjoyed some moments from this movie, specifically the horror elements that we had from this movie, and the use of mirrors specifically. That was kind of like the main focus of horror, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, thought it was pretty unique, thought it was creative, and I enjoyed it. Let's move on to My Neighbors the Yamadas, which was one of the last movies I wanted to watch from Isao Takahata, which wasn't really one of my goals to go through his filmography this year, but I ended up kind of doing so anyways. Helps with my foreign film goal as well. So I ranked this a 63 out of 100. Thought it was decent. It's kind of cute. It's good. It's enjoyable. It's decent. Some pretty unique art and animation as well, which I don't know if I love, but yeah, it was a decent movie. 63 out of 100. Let's move on to Phantom Thread. Also, kind of one of the themes of the week was Paul Thomas Anderson, of course, releasing perhaps the most relevant movie of the year this week, which we'll talk about here shortly. But Phantom Thread, I ranked a 68 out of 100. There's 3 really great performances in this. Of course, Daniel Day-Lewis is amazing, but I think, like I said, there's 3 really great performances in this, and yeah, it's fine. I just thought it was a little slow at times, felt like it was kind of overly long at times, felt like it dragged on at times. I just felt the runtime more than anything, and that's kind of where my lower ranking goes. I still think it's a decent movie, but yeah, 68 out of 100. Let's move on to Punch Drunk Love, which is something I've always wanted to watch. It's something I wanted to watch with Mel because Mel loves Adam Sandler. We are going to go through some of Adam Sandler's filmography next year, and this is one I wanted to watch this year because my Paul Thomas Anderson goal, but Mel decided she didn't want to watch it with me, and I'm kind of glad she didn't watch it with me. I don't think she would have enjoyed this movie very much. And yeah, this was a really like claustrophobic watch for the first hour, and then it just turns into a full-on romance, which I wasn't really expecting. I thought it was just going to be like a rom-com, but yeah. Anyways, it was good. I ranked it a 71 out of 100, and yeah. Let's move on to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I ranked a 76 out of 100. Quite a fun and quirky movie that I'd recommend. It's just very funny. It's super creative, which I enjoy, and I'm fond of the creativity as well. It's so silly. It knows what it's trying to be, and it's very self aware. And I think it's just kind of hilarious. Good times. Just a fun movie. Ranked at a 76 out of 100. Let's move on to Poltergeist 2015, which I really enjoyed. I ranked this an 80 out of 100. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it only has like a 2.2 average on Letterboxd, but yeah, I had a great time with this. I thought there were some pretty unique elements of horror once again. I liked the modern take on this, and it's very interesting to see, just how different these movies are, how different a family dynamic may be. But overall, I just had a great time with this, and it's not as good as the original, obviously, but I still really enjoyed it. Ranked an 80 out of 100. Let's move on to Magnolia, which I ranked an 83 out of 100. A really great movie. I didn't really know where we were heading, and again, eventually, once we kind of get towards the end, we see some of these stories intertwine throughout the movie, and then they kind of all are like intersecting in a way by the end of the movie, which I enjoyed as well. And this movie starts off as a hilarious comedy, and turns out to be one of a pretty devastating movie by the end of it. And Tom Cruise is fantastic. This is probably the best acting performance of his I've seen, and I really, really enjoyed Magnolia. Yeah, ranked in an 83 out of 100. Let's move on to Alien Romulus, which actually went up quite a bit. I ranked it, I believe, an 81 last year when I first watched this. Raised it up to an 86 out of 100. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy the world building that we have here, plus some haunting nightmare fuel at the end of the movie. I love Isabella Merced. She can do no wrong, and Kaylee Spaney's also great, and David Johnson's also really great. I believe that's his name. I just obviously watching him in The Long Walk not long ago, just a couple weeks ago or last week, seeing him, kind of run back or kind of going back into seeing Alien Romulus, seeing him. He's a really fantastic actor in both of those films, but he's really fantastic in Romulus. So yeah, really enjoyed this movie. Probably my favorite part about all these, or of this movie, is all the movie posters. I love the original movie posters. They're dope, they're epic, and I love them. Anyways, ranked this an 86 out of 100. Let's move on to the top 3 of the week, starting it off with Poltergeist, the original, which I also ranked an 86 out of 100. Definitely some creepy stuff in here, which I really enjoyed. This is kind of like a layered familial drama more than anything, it felt like, and definitely some good moments within the family that we have here in this movie as well. There were some really, really fun types of horror that was used as well that I really enjoyed, and it definitely got me a couple times as well. I think there was 1 or 2 jump scares that got me, which doesn't happen very often, so I appreciate that. And yeah, quite a unique plot as well, and I really enjoyed it. This is definitely my fave of Tobe Hooper's movies that I've seen thus far. I really didn't enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so nice to enjoy Poltergeist. Let's move on to perhaps the best movie of the year, which is One Battle After Another, which, to be fair, I didn't really write much of a review about, and I don't know that I will unless I rewatch this movie. Definitely my favorite part of this movie was hearing some Mo Bamba in the background. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I did enjoy this movie, and it's probably this could be like a decade defining movie, maybe even like a 21st century defining movie. This movie's insane. It's nuts. It's I've said it a couple times before, but I'm glad I'm Canadian. I'm glad I was born in Canada, because some of the stuff that Americans are forced to deal with because of the world leaders, or their leaders and the organizations. Anyways, I don't want to get into politics. It's not something I'm interested in, and I don't follow politics anyways. But yeah, this is a very interesting movie that I think everyone should be watching. And clearly, if you see on Letterboxd in its opening weekend, it's already almost at 400,000 members, which is pretty crazy. It's number 26 on Letterboxd top 250 narrative feature films, which is insane. That's so fucking high. It's got a 4.5 average. It's got like an 8.5 average on, or it's got like an 8.5 on IMDb, like a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. This is a must-see watch for anyone, but absolutely, like, this is a must watch. This is the top one movie you should watch of the year. It's not my favorite, truthfully, but it's pretty damn close. I mean, with a rewatch, who knows? I did feel the runtime a little bit at one point, but ultimately, I mean, it's in my top 5 of the year. I prefer F1, I prefer Sinners, I prefer K-pop Demon Hunters, and I prefer Neza too. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up in the list once I get to rewatch it, and I would really like to rewatch it because, again, it's a very important movie, especially to the times that we live in. So, please watch one battle after another, rank it a 91 out of 100. And let's move on to how I started the week, which was Mad Max Fury Road, which I got to see in theaters for the 10th anniversary, which was awesome. I wish I could have seen this in an IMAX theater, but nonetheless, it was still great to see it in theaters. It's become one of my favorite movies since I first watched it in January last year. And yeah, ranked at a 99 out of 100 and went up from a 98. It was originally a 94, rewatched it last year before Furiosa, up to a 98. This time, first time rewatching it in the opposite order, going Furiosa then Fury Road, ranked at a 99, which it definitely does make this movie, Furiosa definitely does make this movie better. So yeah, overall, I had a great time with this, great experience in theaters, and yeah, ranked at a 99 out of 100. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Let me know your guys' watches of the week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.